But I was entertained by it. It was fun to revisit it, watch it again. You know what I mean, and experience it for the second time, for the first time. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyway, what the fuck is up, internet? I'm that dude Swingzilla, aka old guy with too much time on his hands, coming at you from a creepy ass church, and this is the reviewer. You may be shocked to hear this, but I'm actually not a legitimate film critic. Yeah, it's true. As a matter of fact, I've never taken a class, I've never read a book, I've never even skimmed through an article on anything film education related ever. But I have recently adopted sharing my thoughts about stuff on YouTube as a hobby. So I figured, why not throw some of the shows and movies I watch into the mix? Let's talk about Stigmata. Recently, someone in the comment section of my Halloween Ends reaction video, shameless plug, asked me to do a reaction video for Stigmata, but I'd already seen it. Granted, it was years ago, but my memory can be weirdly good when it's inconvenient.
Goddamn son of a bitch!
So instead of possibly making a weak reaction video, I promised to make them a review video instead. Off the bat, I'm not a religious person, so these kind of like religious portrayals seem a little cringy to me most of the time. But I didn't mind it that much in this movie. Stigmata is definitely a product of its time. I mean, motherfuckers were just smoking in restaurants and shit. The 1999 had like this muted glamour, if that makes any sense. But for the most part, it held up, and I was pretty entertained by it when I watched it today again for this review. Let's start with what I liked about it. I really liked how it was shot. Like the graininess and the raining and the dripping gave it like this Exorcist kind of vibe. Your dripping with blood. And they still managed to fit in some like modern type elements. A lot of flashing lights and that repetitive like tick cut thingy they did is totally late 1990s. The dark colors made things feel like somber and serious, even though there was like some silly dialogue in parts.
It's got nothing to do with the uniform, believe me.
Well, what is it, your vow? You took a vow to be dead from the neck down?
I thought the acting was pretty good. Like the guy who played the preacher, I knew that was going to be good, just because you know what to expect from that guy.
He he lived into old age.
But I only remember seeing Patricia Arquette in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Dream you into a beautiful dream, forever and ever.
And the only thing I saw Nia Long in before was Friday.
What? Bye-bye.
But for what they were asked to do, I thought they did good. Like, I believed that Nia Long was, like, cared about her friend. And I truly believed that Patricia Arquette's character was losing her fucking mind. All the side characters were played pretty well too. Like the other salon girls being bitchy, that seemed pretty legit. All the priests and nuns like played their part. They were believable. I was surprised to see that like our main bad guy, the preacher, the priest, the pope, whoever the fuck he was. I was surprised to see that he was like the sparrow guy from fucking Game of Thrones.
All sinners are equal before the gods.
And I feel like this role probably helped him get the Game of Thrones gig, just because he was definitely throwing off that Sparrow, those vibes. He was definitely throwing off those vibes.
Where did you get this?
I liked a lot about the story. I really liked that they made like the preacher guy like a scientist who was like investigating miracles, for whatever for the church. And then I did you know what I mean, the shadiness of all that, and it makes you wonder, like, is there really like a section of the church that does this kind of shit?
It's an oxidation stain caused by rainwater running down untreated sidewalls.
I like how they didn't really make what was happening really clear. Like most movies like this, that do the supernatural thing, they probably feel pressure to like explain everything like right up front. But they didn't do this in this movie, and even though I saw it before, I was kind of dark and didn't really remember how things played out.
Houseman will never let this gospel get out.
Although I'm not really sure what I'd call this movie, like what I would classify it, it's really not a horror movie. It's more like a spy thriller type thing. I mean, we even had like intense car wrecks and shit, like car crashes and stuff, which was crazy. I mean, Patricia Arquette's character having like random outbursts of like torture in public was intense. And then she even got superpowers at one time when she kicked the preacher's ass.
Virgins and eunuchs!
And you had the drama from within the Vatican or whatever. Like, that one old dude preacher was so freaked out about it that he forgot how to delete pictures off of his computer.
Johnny?
And any teenage boy knows how to do that. And I like how they gave like the entity, you know what I mean? You didn't know who it was at first, but they gave it a presence. It wasn't just Patricia Arquette's character like writhing around and, you know what I mean, in a bed or something. Like, wind was blowing around and shit, and there was growling. Lots of growling. Okay, so let's get into what I think was mid. Like, there is a lot that I liked about this story, but I don't think they nailed it in gluing it all together.
Can't even hardly pick it up without getting glue all over myself. And look at the mess it left on my table.
First off, Patricia Arquette, her character should have been taking this shit seriously from the get-go. You know what I mean? As soon as two holes appear in your wrist for no fucking reason, out of the blue, you should start taking shit pretty seriously. This motherfucker went to work the next day.
I'm fine. So how's my day looking?
Well, I started your first client.
She just seemed too nonchalant about what's going on. Like, granted, I can understand wanting to be in denial about something like this bonkers and scary, like, happening to you. But, like, if I'm having these episodes in public and I have open wounds that I don't know where they came from, dude, I'm not leaving that hospital until they figure out what's wrong with me.
Oh, I think you should stay here at least 24 hours for observation. We need to get a handle on this.
There's nothing to get a handle on.
Instead of begging like the preacher dude for help because she needs all the help she can get, as soon as he says the atheist can't catch the Stig, like, she just gets up crazy, bounces and runs out into the middle of a rainstorm and like traffic. And why didn't the preacher, like, introduce himself as soon as he went into the salon? I mean, I feel like at that point you could kind of tell by their dialogue and stuff that they were going to push this whole, like, sexual tension gimmick on us. That just didn't need that. It just didn't need to be.
I mean, I couldn't date you, but, you know.
Oh, no. You just made my day.
I think you can make the preacher guy care about Patricia Arquette's character without it having to be him wanting to fuck her or her fucking him. And I was confused because the demon, well, we assumed it was a demon, but it was like that was the old preacher guy. Why was he so salty when the preacher turned him down? Like, he's throwing shit around and he's all like, I get that they probably wanted to like keep us in the dark about who the entity was, but then when you find out it's just this old preacher dude, you're like, I don't know. It just confused me after realizing what was going on.
You are so proud of your holy abstinence!
There's nothing I really hated about Stigmata, and, and I really shouldn't like talk shit on the special effects for like how old this movie is, but I feel like they just got a little overzealous at with the flames at the end. Like I feel like you just kind of have to know where you're at, right? Like I get that they wanted to make it look cool as fuck. That's probably where most of the money went into this movie. But they should have kept the actors in front of the flames. Anytime they tried to put the flames like in front of the preacher when he's crossing the room or whatever, like the way that it was like pixelated and it just doesn't age very well. And I just kind of wish they would have toned that back. But then again, it probably looked cool as fuck for the time. My overall thoughts on Stigmata, like like I said from the get-go, I was entertained by it. They didn't offend me with anything. I didn't think anything was like super cringy or shitty. There was some silly lines here and there, um, but I remember liking it when it first came out. I did. I probably could have done a reaction video for it because there was a lot of stuff that I forgot. Um, but I still liked it even on the second time. Like my only one complaint is the fucking flames at the end. That's not too bad for a movie that was made in 1999. Jesus Christ, where were you in 1999? So it's an old movie. I'm kind of glad that the person in my comments asked me to do I wouldn't have. I would probably never have watched this movie again, and I'm kind of glad that I did. It's been a while. It was kind of refreshing to watch something that was kind of old school, that had a different vibe to what you know what I mean. I don't watch a ton of movies, so getting a little flashback, you know what I mean, was kind of nice. Will I watch Stigmata again? Probably not. Probably not. Unless, no, probably not. But it was a good. Patricia Arquette was a lot better than I expected her to be. Um, just like I said, because I couldn't remember much from the movie when I watched it because I watched it when it came out. Um, but I was entertained by it. It was fun to revisit it, watch it again. You know what I mean, and experience it for the second time, for the first time. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Stigmata? Have you watched it recently? Did this review inspire you to go back and watch it again? I don't know if that's possible for me to inspire anybody to do anything. But anyway, this video was fun. My next review is going to be Halloween, the original. We're going to get into my Halloween review series, and I'm pretty stoked about it. Let me know what you think about this video. What you think of my reactions if you've watched any of my Andor ones. Any tips would be appreciated. You know what I mean? I make these videos as a hobby, but if people are going to watch them, I don't want them to be shitty. So I appreciate any constructive criticism ahead of time. But that's all I have for now. Catch you in the next one. Later.